That's a very, very powerful statement. I want to ask you, when you look at the 1990s in this country,
yes,
when there was no PDP, there was no APC,
yes,
there was no APGA, there were no political parties, there were no political affiliations. What you had was a military regime, and you had the people. There seemed to be a level of consensus, even if it was silenced and oppressed at that time, against military rule, that they wanted democracy. Everybody seemed to be united in that area, across religion, across ethnicity. I want to ask you, in what ways do you think that common sense of nationalism, of patriotism, of citizenship has been denigrated by this Fourth Republic?
Oh my goodness. You see, it's so, when people say things, the first question people ask is, where are they from? No longer, people no longer consider the issue of what you have to offer. It's where are you from? Because where you are from is what gives meaning to what you are saying. That is where we are now. Nigeria is still balkanized. Just a search. Who is the Nigerian? People are flying ethnic flags. And the politicians are the ones who seem to benefit most from this division. They tell us where the fault lines are. When it is time to array them in court for them to take any plea, what do? They wear native clothes. They provoke native identities. Say, oh, this thing they are doing to me, they are doing it to all of us. And then, there is this administration to a great extent. It's also perhaps painting that picture of them and us by certain utterances. The 5% that didn't give me votes and all that and all that. It gives people the impression that, oh, this is not your place. If you want to get this from the favored 75%. You see, so until we must begin to instill that sense of patriotism. So
the ethnic chauvinism you're referring to, is it limited to the presidency? Is it not wider in the political culture? What are your thoughts?
It's all over. It's in the classroom. It's in the universities. Ethnicity is the order of the day. It is no longer what you can do. It is who you are. What is your name? It's only in this country that we will fill national forms and then indicate, ethnic, For instance, look at and this is one of the blunders of, the Federal Character Commission. Perhaps the people who engineered this thought that, oh, it will be better so that everybody will come to the table. But suddenly, it is telling us, oh, you are different. This is who you are. You cannot come here. You are not from here. And then, there is nobody singing the Nigerian song. What is even the Nigerian song? Do we have a common song? So our allegiances, don't you see what happens? People actually steal money in this country. And they go to Ghana and build universities. Is that not crazy? They steal Nigeria. I'm telling you, they go to Ghana and build universities. There's no belief, even from the political class. They do not have faith in this country. And then, they're the ones who want foreigners. Say, come and invest in Nigeria. But they don't have, the foreigners are seeing you taking monies outside here to build universities, establish airlines. They don't even have faith in this country.
Barrister, I can feel your passion. It's palpable when you look at where we are today. And you see it across the board. If you're on the social media, you see citizens absolutely concerned more than they've ever been.
Yes.
That this nation is actually sliding into anarchy.
It is.
Now, if you are the president, the commander-in-chief, today, what steps, aside from just trying to stem the flow of blood in the country, what steps do you take to really take control and say that, look, we have a nation, let's protect it? First
of all, we need to have that conversation. Restructuring, that gospel of restructuring. People have to say what part they want to play in this country. We have to have a constitution that must emanate from us. What kind of Nigeria, what sort of Nigeria do people have to have a say in that conversation? That is the first thing. The sense of belonging, not you stay there, do what I want. No. And above all, starting from the big fishes, in quotes, the sacred cows, can we start implementing our laws? If you steal, you go to Kuje, you go to prison, stay there. And everybody knows that, this person stole money and this person is in prison. You see? So when we see that happening, then it will provoke a belief again in the Nigerian state.
Barrister, I'm going to ask you to hold your thoughts for a moment. We will take a short break and we will be back in a moment. Our viewers, please do stay with us.
You know, that's a professionalism, you know, that one assumes exists at that level of security, country first. But because the fault lines are obvious, look at the statement of General T.Y. Danjuma. Remember his antecedents in this country? He came out openly to say, listen, the military is balkanized. People protect yours. He said it. As we speak, nobody has challenged that statement. The best they are doing is to set up a committee.
I think they just received the report yesterday, Chief of Army Staff.
Fantastic. He said it. He made that statement that the military is balkanized and compromised. Therefore, the appointment of these service chiefs, you know, it gives us the impression that, oh, these are the people. Because already the fault lines are so obvious.
You know, Barrister, some critics really have said of the president that, you know, that he's essentially outsourcing compassion, outsourcing interpersonal leadership to the vice president, and that he can't afford to do so. Ultimately, what needs to be done today, not just on the part of the president, but on the part of all actors to unite this country? Number one,
Mr. President, we need that national address, that presidential address that will make us all stay glued to our televisions until he finishes. Remember the amount of goodwill that our president, remember how he came into power? People walked from Lagos to Abuja because he was the president. So at what we expect at this moment, a presidential broadcast on the state of the nation. That's leadership. Let the president tell us, look at what is happening. Sympathize with the people who have lost loved ones. And then tell us, look at the concrete steps we are taking. Unite us by your speech. Tell us to band together. Tell us that invaders have come. Do not keep quiet. Because we misinterpret that quietness. Yes. And it is the politicians that will feast on this and tell us that, oh, he's kept quiet because he does not care. Mr. President, talk to us.
Essentially, silence for complicity.
Yes.
Okay.
Talk to us. X-ray the state of affairs in Nigeria.
Unfortunately, this conversation is an important one, but we have to bring it to a close due to time. I thank you so much, Barrister, for coming on the program. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you very much.
With us has been a legal practitioner, Barrister Esther Uzoma. And this is where we close Sunrise Daily for the day. I am Ajuri Ngalale wishing you a wonderful day.
From Lagos, have a very lovely day. Goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed by guests on this program are those of the maker and do not necessarily reflect the views, opinions, and endorsement of Channels Television.